Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visiting KUHN Chevrolet, and I'm checking out the completely redesigned 2018 Chevrolet Traverse. Now this one is in the Premier trim level that has a lot of features to show off, and some of them were very surprising even to me. So let's go ahead and check it out. This Traverse is sitting on 255, 55 Continental cross contact tires, wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels, looking nice. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc rotors on all four wheels. The name of this color is Mosaic Black Metallic, and definitely can see the metallic portion of the name. Not sure where the mosaic comes from, but it is a very nice color. It's one of those colors that you just kind of looks like a regular black from a distance, but as you get closer, you can kind of appreciate it a little bit more. At least I did anyway. Okay, so checking out the front end, check out those lines in the hood. They're kind of subtle, I guess, with this particular color too, but definitely looking nice. Now, the front end has a flat black grille and a chrome, combination of chrome and flat black. A lot of open space, you can actually see in there and see the cooling components. So lots of airflow. And the chrome around the fog lights. Halogen powered reflector fog lights, by the way. Now the headlights are something a little bit unique, something that I haven't seen in a vehicle. It has a kind of a projector system here, but it's not a traditional projector tube. It's more like these separate lenses that focus the light, more of an up and down pattern here. And all powered by LEDs. You also have an LED daytime running light there, but very impressive looking when they're turned off and when they're on. Very bright as well. Let's take a look at the profile, and this is what really, one of the things that impressed me, just the stance this vehicle has. It's definitely a bigger vehicle than the previous year model Traverse vehicles, and it has the deep tinted glass back there. That looks really nice with the black. And then you have the chrome trim there around the windows, door handles there at the bottom, and there at the top, and your roof rails. Really liking those wheels. They're not too flashy or gaudy. They just really look classy. This is what the key looks like, and really comfortable and high quality, solid feeling key. Has a Chevrolet emblem on the other side, and this side is kind of like a concave, kind of contorted or shaped for your thumb to be able to pass through there very easy, and it stays in your hand. I really like the Chevrolet keys. And it has the lock and unlock button, the remote start, the ability to open up the power lift gate, and a panic button. It also has a physical key on the inside in case you need it. But generally this is a proximity key, and it's designed to just keep in your pocket, and you could just use the vehicle 100% without taking it out of your pocket or your bag. As long as I have the key with me, I'm going to go ahead and put it in my pocket. I can walk up to the vehicle, and I can lock the doors by pushing this button and push it again to unlock it. It's very simple. It senses the key within a close proximity of the door and allows you to unlock the door. Okay, so here's the inside of the passenger door. Now the interior color is jet black, and that seemed like more of an appropriate name for the outside, but that's what the inside is called. Now it has a soft to the touch right here, all around your arm, and your of course your armrest. Then it has the stitching and the perforations there. Then you have an accent here, kind of like a, not really a carbon fiber, but something similar to that. It has a pattern throughout. I like the way they have that forward little shelf right in here, and a large handle. This little handle is also a storage pocket with a little rubber portion at the bottom that's removable, so you can clean it out. You have that forward portion, and then you have the large pocket at the bottom. Has the premium Bose sound system. One of the speakers is there on the door. Here's your threshold. Power seat here for your passenger, as well as power lumbar adjustments. Heated and ventilated seats here on the front. And you can see it has the contrast stitching, the perforations there in the seat. And the sunlight doesn't really help, but we'll look at the seat a little bit more on the other side to give you a better idea of what it looks like. And really, really comfortable. Speaking of comfort, this vehicle has a lot of room, so look at all the leg room. I'm going to put all the measurements and volumes and everything, but you see how the floorboard doesn't taper or anything? It's just wide open for your legs, and really, really impressive. So this portion of the dash is soft to the touch, and I mean really, really soft. Top portion is not. And then you have this metallic accent there. Take a look at the glove compartment. Smooth plastic on the inside, but pretty traditional and pretty good size though. And you have this little storage pocket here on the left side, or here on the side of the console, so you can kind of quickly put some mail or whatever, papers, whatever happens to be in your hands at the time. And we're going to check out those sunroof. It has a dual pane sunroof, so you have one in the front, one in the back. All the rear glass has the deep tinted glass, so this helps out with privacy, of course, but also the sun from shining on you. And of course, I would recommend tinting the front glass if you can. Depends on your laws in your state, which will, kind of complete the whole tint. All right, looking at the second row seat here, and let's start with the door though. Has a soft to the touch right on your arm, here, and then you have two pockets, and then the forward pocket there, and the large pocket in the door. Now the back door is very similar size as the front, and it has similar room. Even with that front seat all the way back, you'll notice massive amounts of leg room back here. Just wide open space. The second row passengers are going to be pleasantly surprised at how much room they're going to have. The seats are able to go forward and back. You can tilt them down to have your cargo mode, but just very, very impressive with the way the door opens. Look how much the door opens. You have this, it's just like the front almost as far as the openness. Maybe a little bit more actually, but really impressed me. So you have little pockets on the back of the front seats. Now these seats are heated back here as well, and they have the latch system for car seats, and you also have two USB ports, and you have your controls for your seats, your heated seats, and your climate control right here, easy to get to here in the center. Then you have a center pass-through, so that way the passengers can get to the third row. You can also get to the third row by moving the seat. So the third row seats are pretty good ways off the floor. So even with, now that, of course these seats are all the way back, so it's limiting the legroom back here. So you won't have to compromise a little bit there on the legroom for the third row passengers, depending on their needs. But as far as the seats being off the floor, that's pretty good. So that way if you have long legs, your knees aren't sticking up in the air as much. You also have a USB port, charging port, for on both sides basically. One on this side, and you have a little storage pocket, and you have one on that side as well, so that even the third row passengers will be able to charge their device and kind of do whatever they want back here within reason. Okay, looking at the back of the vehicle, you have the shark fin antenna there, and the roof rails, and the spoiler back here with the third brake light, and a small wiper there in the center. Chrome accents, dual exhaust, check it out. You have the dual exhaust tips there. And it has two cameras back here. One is a backup camera, the other is, I'll tell you when we get in the vehicle. No, I'm not gonna make you wait. The rear view mirror is actually a camera instead of an actual mirror. You have to check it out, it's really cool. Parking sensors across the back. And opening up the lift gate, you can of course use the key, or you can push this button under here and lift it up. Has an LED light there, that's nice for nighttime. All right. So, if you have all the seats occupied with passengers, you still have this much cargo space, which is pretty significant considering it's a third row vehicle. So you have this cargo area here, you have tie downs, and you also have a 12-volt power supply back here. Isn't that nice? So this mat, you can remove this mat and you can lift up this portion, and you have a storage compartment here, so extra space that's out of the way and out of sight. And then these little screws right here unscrew, and you're able to access your spare tire. Here's a little diagram that shows you where it is. That tray comes out and your spare tire and tools are underneath. It's a compact spare tire just under there. Now you can fold these seats down so it's a 60-40 split. So you can fold these third row seats down, then you can fold down the second row, and depending on your needs in the moment, you can have a combination of cargo and passenger space, adding to the cargo by folding down the seats. Now, once you fold them all down, you'll have this wide open, plenty of area for cargo space. You can pick up a huge box. Probably a regular size refrigerator will fit back here. It's amazing how much room this vehicle has when the seats are folded down. Okay, so lowering the lift gate, you just push this button and it'll lower for you. Fuel door is here on the driver's side, which is convenient. And it's a capless design, so you just pump your gas. You don't have to worry about a cap being loose and your check engine light turning on, or just losing your cap, or just getting in the way, period. Just pump the gas, you're good to go. It also has the hands-free lift gate, where you just swipe your foot underneath the vehicle and it'll lift up for you. As long as you have the key inside the car, put your foot on the brake, push this button. The key can be in a bag or whatever, pocket. So here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now this mat is sitting on top of the original mat, which you're not really supposed to do that and drive around. But the mat snaps in place, so that way it doesn't move around on you, stays put. But look how much legroom here in the driver floorboard. Is your accelerator and brake pedal and a footrest here on the far left. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch a little bit to the left of center right in here. Just kind of reach in and move it to the right. And it's actually yellow, so it's easy to find. Once you get up to a certain point, it'll just go up the rest of the way by itself, like so. So you just kind of reach in and do that number. Okay, so checking out the engine bay. So, has an insulated firewall back there. Here's your battery that's easy to get to. Strut towers are braced into the unibody structure of the vehicle. Front wheel drive. Now, it has a 3.6 liter V6 engine with variable valve timing and a 9-speed automatic transmission. That's a lot of gears. Here's the inside of the driver's side door. Now you'll notice it looks just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. You have your presets for your driver's seat and an exit mode, and automatic power window here for the driver. So one touch down, one touch up. And your side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust it with that little pad. Now the power lift gate goes all the way up. By default, it's on max right now, but this gives you ability to turn it off or put it to 3/4. So if you have a low garage or something like that, you can go ahead and turn it off so that way it doesn't lift up, or put it on a 3/4. That way, if that clears the area in which you need to clear. So that's the ability to turn it off or put it in a 3/4 position. So the driver's seat, power adjustable with power lumbar adjustments there. And I think we can see the seat a little bit better on this side because there's less harsh shadows, but look at it. Very impressive with the contrast stitching here and the little micro perforations. I think they did a really good job on the seating and the just overall space and layout of this vehicle. So to the left of the steering column, there's your dimmer switch for your interior gauges, and here is for your fog lights, and then your headlights are here. So you have your automatic dimming headlights on and off. You can turn that off by bumping it to the left. You have an automatic headlights period, and then you have parking light, and then you can manually turn on your headlights. And then you have a tilt and telescoping powered tilt and telescoping steering column, so you can fine tune it pretty easy. The side mirror has a blind spot detector light, and you can see a little car with a star next to it. That will illuminate when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. It also serves as a rear cross traffic alert when you're backing out of a parking space and you can't see around the cars next to you. Then it'll let you know if there's a car coming from either direction. There's an indicator on both side mirrors, that way it can tell you the appropriate side. Okay, taking a look here on the inside, and man, it is comfortable and roomy and really good design. I like the changes they did to this vehicle. So check out the legroom. So even with the seat, now the seat's all the way back, so just to kind of give you an idea, and I'm 6 feet tall, I could put my legs straight out here and have plenty of knee room and leg room. It's just very comfortable. Now the seat's a little bit further back than what I would normally drive, just so I can film a little bit better, to also give you an idea of how much room is possible anyway. Okay, so starting here on the steering wheel, it's a leather wrap steering wheel, soft to the touch, very comfortable, and has a good thickness. A little bit softer than the average steering wheel, making it a little bit more comfortable. You have the metallic accents there around the buttons, a little bit of a grip up here. Okay, so here on the left side is your cruise control. You can turn it on and off, reset, resume, all that stuff. And your heated steering wheel control is here. Once you turn it on, they have a little indicator light letting you know it's on. And this is your collision alert system, and you push it and it will change the distance, so basically the sensitivity as you're driving. So if you're getting a bunch of false alerts, you can pull it in a little bit more just so it doesn't give you too much false alerts. Here on the right side is your voice recognition and your Bluetooth controls, so you can answer calls, make calls right here and hang up. And these buttons right here correspond with this little screen between the gauges, which we'll get to in just a minute. On the back side of the steering wheel, there's actually some buttons here, and this one is for your volume. I'm not going to turn it up too much. And on the other side is to change through the tracks, your favorites. Basically, depends on when you're in. If you're in the radio, then it'll change through your favorites. But if you're in through, like, say, if you're plugged in a USB device or something like that, then it'll cycle through the audio tracks. All right, let me tilt the steering column down a little bit. So your windshield wiper controls are here on the right side. Your turn signal is over here. And when I was explaining the headlight controls here, I misspoke when I said that this turns off the auto dim high beams. This actually just turns off your automatic headlights. This actually turns off your automatic high beams right here. All right, so here's the gauges. Now, the gauges are accented with a nice teal light around, kind of ring around each bezel on the gauges there. It looks really nice, but other than that, it has a metallic accent, and then it has a flat black with the white lettering popping out, easy to read, easy to focus on when you're transitioning from the road to the gauges and all that. RPMs here on the left, and the speedometer is there on the right side. Fuel gauge and engine coolant temperature there at the top, and you have some more information in this little screen. And you remember these buttons here on this side, I told you we'll get to those, and that's what we're going to do now. So as we look at this screen a little bit closer, You can see it has a digital speedometer right now. It also shows you what gear you're in, your odometer, and your digital compass. Lots of things there. But as I scroll down, you can see this is part of a whole menu system with a little bar on the side, scroll bar, giving you tire pressure and all kinds of information here. Transmission fluid temperature. Now if I scroll to the left, that opens up showing me that I was in the info tab. Going down to the audio, I can select that, and I can make changes here on the radio and using these same buttons. I can go into the phone. There's no phone paired. Once there's a phone paired, I can go into information on that. Navigation, I can have information on the navigation screen. Now once there's no point in which, right now there's no point in which I'm going to, so there's no destination, I should say. So it's not really showing much, but once I have a destination, it'll show me some information here as I'm driving, so that way I don't have to glance over to the bigger screen all the time. Then you can go into your options and make all kinds of changes here. And go back up to the info, and this will go back to there. So kind of give you an idea of what's in there. You know, none of that stuff is mandatory that you have to go in and change anything. It's just there in case you need to, you know, you want to get some information. Okay, so check out this screen. Look at the clarity and the crispness. The background is black. It's actually black. It's not like a washed out black. It looks really nice, and colors are well done, I should say. Okay, so you have your outside temperature, digital clock, and then you have your icons here in your home screen. So we have some physical buttons down here. The home screen looks like this, and we have two screens here like so, and we can go back and forth. So let's go ahead and start with the audio. So this is, right now we're in the radio. Now we can go to media, and we can, you know, if there's something to play, it will show up right there. But like say a USB port, a USB drive, or auxiliary input, or Bluetooth device, any of those things will pop up there when you push the media. And radio, we can change the, you know, like AM, FM, satellite radio, things like that there. And your presets are there at the bottom. Alright, let's go back to the home. Your phone, no phone paired, but once you pair your phone, this is what your screen, you'll have a keypad, you'll have recent calls, you'll be able to go into your contacts, and you'll be able to send calls and send calls simply by pushing the voice recognition button and saying the name of the person that's saved in your phone book, and you'll be able to, you know, make a call. Now projection, this is where you plug in a phone for your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And once you do that, then this will allow you to, you know, install the program or have it project onto the screen the Apple CarPlay software or the Android Auto software. Now it has to stay plugged into the USB while it's doing this. So look at navigation screen. So this is your map, and kind of zoom in and out. So this is the top-down view. There's different views. You can get more of a three-dimensional view, or you can get however you want, basically, in the options. You can also kind of look around by moving around like this, kind of seeing where you're at, getting your bearings. And let's say you go over here, you start looking around, you start getting curious, and you're all over the place, and you can always go back to yourself by hitting that, and it'll show you back right where you're at. You can put in a destination by address, intersection. You can go into your recent destinations, or you can save some contacts there as well. You can send and receive texts here, or you can reply to text. Now it's not going to be voice recognition, and you can do it safely. It's really interesting. I'm not going to demonstrate that because I don't have a phone paired, but it's pretty neat. Okay, so you can adjust the rear climate by pushing it here, and you can go into all the settings there, the temperature, the fan speed, and where the air is blowing and all that. And traffic and shop. I'm not sure what the shop is. It's like a has something to do with the OnStar programming or something. I don't really know because I haven't set it all up yet. That's for the customer to do. But let's go to this camera. This is really cool. So the camera system has the whole 360 thing going on all around the vehicle, and then right now it's showing in front because we're not in reverse. If we put it in reverse, it'll show the backup camera with the active guidelines, and we can select those guidelines on or off right here. So it's real easy, nice big buttons right here to see, and then you can select the camera view that you would like to see. Now when you put it in reverse, it's going to, you know, stay on the backup camera. All right. So that's kind of a quick rundown of the screen here. Go to settings. There's lots of different settings here you can go through. But anyways, there's the quick rundown of the screen, and you know, the physical buttons down here, physical knob for your volume, and then your home button, and then you can change to your tracks. But check this out. We can go ahead and push that button, and it lifts up a secret compartment back here, and it also has a USB port. Isn't that nice? So you can put your device in there, plug it in, close it up. You can put, you know, your wallet or valuables or whatever in there and close it up, and it's out of sight and it's secure. Okay, so down here is your climate control. It's actually a tri-zone, so you have driver and passenger separate, and then you have the rear separate too. So you have cooled seats is a 3-stage, and then the same thing with heated seat for your driver and your passenger. And then where you want the air to blow, the fan speed, recirculate the air, even has an automatic setting. And then here's the temperature, so you can, once you adjust your temperature, and it'll pop up on the screen too as you're adjusting it. It's going to give you a better view. And if you have it synced, you can adjust everything together. And to unsync it, you can simply just push the button to unsync it, or you can just start adjusting this knob and it'll adjust it separately. It'll undo the sync. Okay, so down here, 2 USB ports, an auxiliary input, 12-volt power supply, and a wireless charger right in here. Now this charging pad, once you put a wireless charging phone, if you don't have one or you're just not using it at the moment, you can just put stuff in here. It's not a big deal. It's not going to harm anything. As long as there's nothing in the way when you're trying to charge your phone, it's not going to cause a problem. Okay, so here's your cup holders, and it's wide open here in the center, so you can utilize this space for more than just cups. Prop your phone up in there or whatever. Okay, so here's your shifter. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse so you can see basically pops up the backup camera. It also activates the parking sensors as well, so it'll beep at you if you get close to something. There's neutral, drive, and then there's your low range, so if you need to get in a lower gear ratio, you can also adjust that right here with the plus and minus. Electronic parking brake, you can go ahead and engage it by pulling it up. To disengage it, you have to have your foot on the brake and you push it down, it'll disengage. Then you have a snow mode and a regular mode. Simply bumping it to the right puts it in snow mode, and bumping it to the right again puts it back in regular. Then your traction control, stability control, you can turn that off, it's default on. And then this is your lane keeping assist button right here. You can turn that feature on and off. Has a little indicator light letting you know that it's on. Okay, so check out this armrest, really nice looking. Has the contrast stitching, and then you have this divider here with the leather and all that. Nice, nice, nice. High quality feeling and tightly wrapped. It is soft too. So this lifts up, has a little clip under there, and this tray is removable. Pretty deep tray too, so you can put a lot of stuff in there. And then you have this large well of a compartment, so you can put a bunch of stuff in there and clutter it up all you want. Okay, so this is pretty surprising to me. Here's the rear view mirror, okay? So right now it's auto dimming, so is the side mirror on the driver's side, because I have this shade over the light sensor, which is right back here. But that's not it. I mean, the rear view mirror is also a rear view camera. Watch this. This button right here is typically used for day and night mode, but check it out. Move it like that, turns into a it turns on the camera back there. So the second camera is now, it's visible. A little bit of a glare on the camera, on my camera by the way, but as you're driving around you can have this camera back there which gives you a kind of a backlit illuminated view, clear, crisper view of what's behind you as you're driving around. So it just stays on all the time. It's not like a backup camera. I guess it is, but it's a camera view in the rear view mirror that simulates that rear view mirror look while you're driving around. So I thought that was pretty neat. Okay, so up here you have some tap lights. And you have your home link garage door opener controls. And you can turn on and off all your interior lights with this button, or you can have it on with the door, whichever you want. And then these buttons are for your sunroof. Actually, it has 2 sunroofs. And then your on-start controls are here. The visor has mirrors and lights that slowly fade in and out so it doesn't blind you as soon as you open up the little cover there. And it also slides in and out too. When you put it over here to the side, it's able to slide out. Okay, so let's look at these sunroofs. So the back one, I have the shade open, but it has a shade that's able to cover 100% of the light. So when you have it open, it's basically a fixed piece of glass back there. But the front one has the shade, but you're able to tilt it or slide it. Alright, that's as far back as it goes. And we can always close the shade. Helps out on a day like today where it's really warm and you don't want so much light shining on you, or sun shining on you. Okay, so let's look at the visibility in the back. Alright, so I like that sunroof back there. But look at all that glass back there. So you have the glass in the black. Now you have seats in the way too, so you know, kind of depending on how many passengers you have and all that stuff is really the factors as far as your visibility back here. But it looks like in general it's not too bad, especially considering you don't have to look through the rear view mirror to look through all this stuff. You can have the rear view camera system, which is already back there, and it bypasses all the seats, all the passengers, all the cargo, everything, and gives you a clear view of what's behind the vehicle. And of course you have the backup camera, you have the 360 camera system, parking sensors, cross path detection, blind spot monitor system, all that stuff to help you out in that department anyway. So anyways, thank you for watching. Last but not least, we are going to check out the window sticker. Of course, you're gonna have to use the pause button to read it in detail if you would like to, but let's check it out here. It's got the 3.6 liter 2018 Traverse Premier. And let's start with all the details here. Standard equipment, interior connectivity, optional equipment over here. And then check out the fuel economy. 27 on the highway, 18 in the city, third row vehicle. All right, 2018 Traverse at Judd Kuhn Chevrolet here in North Myrtle Beach. Thank you for watching, and I just want to mention I don't work for Judd Kuhn Chevrolet. I'm just here visiting, just in case you get confused. So just here to show off this vehicle to you. And so thank you to Judd Kuhn for allowing me to do that, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.